Hi folks, Toad Hancock's here with Visordown.com, and this is Ducati's Panigale V4R. This is the pinnacle of the superbike family with Ducati, and here are 5 fast facts that make this probably the most special bike that we've ever ridden. Fast fact number 1. You can't talk about the V4R without talking about wings. These things aren't there just for show. These actually generate downforce, and at about 180 miles an hour, they're putting the same amount of force on the front end as having one Kylie Minogue sat on the headstock. That's over 50 kilograms of downforce at 180 miles an hour. Fast fact number 2. The fairing on this thing is completely redesigned over the original V4 and the V4S. It's actually wider, about 2 inches on each side, which is counterintuitive because you'd think for a race bike the narrower it is, the faster it's going to go through the air. But what Ducati found out was that if they made the fairing wider, it pushed the air around the outside of the rider's legs and actually make the bike much more aerodynamic. Fast fact number 3, louvres. These aren't just for show, these are actually there to suck the hot air out from inside the fairing. So as the cool air hits the oil cooler and the radiator, it gets slowed down. And because the air rushing over the outside of the fairing is travelling so much faster, it actually causes a bit of a vacuum and physically pulls the air out from under the fairing. All of that is just to keep the bike cool when you're up speed. Fast fact number 4, the engine on this thing. So it's a 999cc, which is to homologate the bike for World Superbike and British Superbike. That's no secret. How they did it is quite interesting. So they kept the bore of the bike exactly the same, but they've shortened the stroke of each of the cylinders by 5.1 millimeters. So what they've created is a 1000cc or a 999cc, but an ultra high revving engine. I mean, this thing revs out at sort of 16,500 RPM, and it's got 2 little power bands, 2 distinct power bands that you go through as you're riding it. The first one comes in at about 8,000 RPM, which is when the bike's just starting to get into its stride and it really begins to take off and pull really hard. And then as you hit 11,000 RPM, the thing goes nuts. It wrenches your arms, tries to wrench your arms off the handlebars, and it's just got a second burst of acceleration, which is just mind-blowing. Before you know it, you've hit the red line and it's time to hook another gear. It is an absolute piece of artwork. And the final fast fact that makes this probably one of the most special bikes we've ever ridden is its history in World Superbike. In its first season of competition, straight out of the box, this thing and Alvaro Bautista won 11 World Superbike races on the bounce. Nobody else has done that, and that was in its first season of competition.